If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I could probably end the list right there, but I'm going to continue. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. Speaking from personal experience, creating a podcast felt so overwhelming. I didn't know where to start, but using Anchor was a no-brainer. Their website and app is user-friendly. You're able to navigate through it easily. It's pretty cool, guys. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. A one-stop shop. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. This episode of the Indie Center podcast is brought to you by Spotify, the place where you can listen to your favorite artists and podcasts for free. Did you hear me? You don't even need a premium membership. Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcast so you never miss an episode. Are you subscribed to me yet? Wink, wink. Premium users can download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are, and that is so convenient. How many times have you found yourself in an airplane or driving down a road with no reception and you just want to escape but can't? You are stuck sitting next to somebody that snores, or you're stuck in a meaningless conversation and you just want to listen to podcasts. Well, now you can, guys, and you can easily share what you're listening to with your friends on Instagram. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to download the Spotify app and search for Indie Center Podcast on Spotify, or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. Also, make sure to follow me so you never miss an episode. All right, bonus episode. I didn't think that I would be doing this anytime in the beginning of the podcast, but here I am with my good friend Haney. I feel like we had a good time last time, and I didn't want to end it. So
yeah, so part two
ish. So we were talking about how being an extra on Chicago PD, Fire, Med, Empire, and how we hype things up. I remember I learned after my first episode, don't tell anybody that you're on TV until you see yourself. I had a U5. A U5 is like under 5 lines where you get an upgrade.
Oh, okay.
Yes, which I didn't walk into wanting it. Like, I was just there. You ever hear of you're there at the right place at the right time?
Right.
So the whole scene, it was on Chicago PD. They ended up renting out an old bank, and they ended up remodeling it and making it look like a functioning bank for a bank robbery scene. And it was, I want to say, at least 35 actors on there. And our whole thing was, once they yell action, we're running out the bank, screaming, running, crying, whatever. And they didn't really give us any direction. They just said to run that direction. And, I just decided, I remembered what John said. He said, if you're in a scene, react to the scene. Like, what would you do? Like, don't just follow direction and just run. What would you do in that situation? So, they had me paired up with, I forgot her name, but I do have her on my Facebook. So we were together and we were running out. She was an older woman, so I felt that I should protect her, kind of hover over her, make sure she's okay. So as we're running out, they yell action as a dry run with the second scene. We're running out, and I'm hovering over her, and I'm kind of waving at the cops, saying, "Hey, he's in here, trying to wave him down, and they ended up stopping. And it was Sophia Bush, and I don't know what the other main actor is. The main guy, the blue eye.
Void or whatever, right? Is that his name in the
I don't watch.
show? I don't either. The raspy voice dude?
No, the young one.
Oh yeah, I don't know his name. I know you're talking about. I don't watch the show either.
I don't watch the show at all. Well, I'll tell you about another one. But so Sophia Bush came out. Well, no, they're doubles, so they came out or whatever. And I was, waving them down, saying, "He's in here, he's in here. The killer's in there, or whatever." And the director liked it, and then the background coordinator liked it, so they said, "Do it, continue doing it. You got lines in here." Great,
nice,
yeah, nice, right? So,
right,
like an idiot, we do it 3 times live with the actual actors, and I'm like less than a foot away from Sophia Bush when she comes out the car. And I'm yelling and I'm pointing. And all I'm saying is, they're in there, help us, they're in there. That's all I'm saying. So Sophia Bush caught me like from fucking left field. She comes out the car and says, "Are you okay?" She asked me a question. And I've been saying, they're in there, help us. They're in there the entire time, but I don't fucking know anything else to say.
Right.
So when she asked me, "Are you okay?" my dumbass responded, "They're in there. They're in there." So needless to say, right? I was so happy I got a U5, and then the day came. Like I was like, "Guys, check it out." The day of, and then they ended up scrapping my entire thing.
The entire thing?
No, not the entire thing. They ended up
doing lines though?
Yeah, I didn't have no words. They ended up having background music on it, and then raised it to where you couldn't hear my voice at all. And then the camera angles, they shifted it, so you couldn't get me at all. I think you got me running out the building, hovering over the girl, but you couldn't.
Damn.
I was like, damn. But at least I got that pay though.
No, you did get the pay though.
I got the raise.
Which I was gonna ask. I was gonna say, yeah, what they give you? They give you a nice little bump for that.
But sometimes they're slick though.
But we don't do it for. We didn't start it for the money, not yet. Even though I'm looking forward to the money, but I want to be on TV, so it's like, oh, everybody, sometimes on Empire, they're like, yeah, but we're getting paid. Nah, that's not why I'm here right now, though. That's not why I'm here for the extras. I want to be seen. I want to I'm not here for that little bit of that little $80-something for 8 hours.
I enjoy the extra, but the thing is like everybody wants to be seen. Everybody,
it's a battle on the floors over there. It's ridiculous.
Extras do extra.
Yeah. Extras do extra. It's crazy.
It's not even a dish out to them or anything, but it's like me. Oh, me. My turn. Look at me. And you ever seen like the first time background actors that the first mistake that they do is just look at the camera?
Oh yeah.
And do you see that on the final cut? Like when they there's like barely in the intro, like they're coming out of court, you see a fucking extra just looking straight at the camera.
Yeah, right. It's because they want to know, like, am I about to be on it? Like, is it pointing at me and shit?
Have you ever looked at the camera?
Oh yeah. When I first started, dude, like not on the extras stuff, but when I started doing a couple of student projects and indie films, I got called a couple of times. I didn't even know I did. I was like, I don't think I did. They're like, here, look, Chris. And I'm like, okay, I did. Your camera says I did.
My first time on set was on Chicago Fire. There was at the McCormick place. They ended up converting it into a hospital, and it was like a car accident scene. So the camera was panning, with the car wreck, kind of looking at our reaction, and my dumbass, the camera went from left to right. I looked at it from left to right. I followed the fucking camera the entire time.
Shit.
God, it was. How was your first time on set?
For what though? Like just as an extra?
As an extra. We'll just start with the extra.
As my real extra, because like I said, I did the American Greed, but it was pretty low budget, like production.
Really?
Thing.
For something that was actually.
Man, bro, we had this little room in a like a doctor's office. Like it was a pretty big doctor's office area, but we just took up like half of the waiting room. So there was people walking in like not knowing what the hell was going on. They're like, what is going on over there? But we were in the corner with just like 2 cameras. One guy that was the cameraman, and the one guy kind of like directing what needs to be going on, and then it was me and like 2 other actors, and we didn't do.
So that was your
much.
First day, like your first like real.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I got that shit on Craigslist, dude. Everybody's like, what do you mean Craigslist? I was like, bro, I found that shit on Craigslist.
Hey, Mike, you heard that, buddy? Mike, he found his work on Craigslist too, but he was a success with that shit, but not you.
Now I'm over here like, bro, I mean, I could have been fucking raped and kidnapped and shit. Like, what am I doing just taking shit off Craigslist like that? Damn. But my first real a real production was Chicago PD, and you've been on Chicago PD.
Oh yeah.
You know, you just best production set crew, whatever. Like, bro, they take care of you. Even there's an extra, just they feed you good. You relax. They don't steal your phone. You know, like all day, like Empire and shit. You know,
that policy is so dumb. But you know why they do that, right?
Yeah, somebody leaked some pictures and all that.
You know how, bro, that's expensive. Like I think they ended up leaking an entire scene with Taraji. And they ended up having to scrap the entire episode.
Even though I thought I heard that it was like a crew member that did it too, not even an extra. That it was somebody in the crew.
I heard whatever extra got hired from that day, they were all just like, man,
fuck,
bro. But actually, I had an issue with the whole phone policy thing. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember you saying that about because your wife, right?
Yeah. At the time, we were expecting. I think we were expecting our second. It was in the beginning of October. And I didn't have a real job. Like being an extra and doing Uber and doing all that, that was my bread and butter. Like that was the way that I would make my money. I had 2 rents to pay for. I had a lot of things that I had to pay for, and I couldn't do it without extra work. So the first time they ended up telling me, hey, your phones need to be in the bag. I get it. I told them, listen, I've been doing this for a few years, and I completely understand why. But this is my situation. I am expecting a child. I am here to work. As long as you need me to, I don't care. But I need the phone on me just in case. And they were kind of iffy about it. I'm like, look, it doesn't even have to be on me. You can have my phone. But if you see my wife text, I need you to tell me.
Right.
So that first time they said, yeah. And that was a day I did a scene with who's the guy that had that whole controversy thing? Jussie Smollett.
Have you seen the Dave Chappelle? They call him Juicy Smollett or something. Juicy Smollett.
Justice for Juicy.
Yeah. Justice for Juicy.
Yeah. Right. So that was a day I did a scene with him. They were cool with it. They said, all right, cool. So I ended up getting booked with them the week afterwards, and I told them, I'm like, guys, it's getting closer to the due date, and it was the same people. One of them was the same person that helped me out last time, but it was a cattle call. It was like, I think the shoot for the day was in like the theater that they have on set. The theater where they perform other songs and stuff. So I was there doing the cattle call for them, and they gave me the pouch, and I'm like, hey, I try to explain to them my situation. And I don't know if this guy was a new guy or what the issue was, but he was like, no, that's the policy. If you don't like it, you got to leave. And I'm like, listen, no, it's a medical situation. I gotta have my phone on me. If it's not on me, could you have it on your desk? I don't want to use it. I don't care. I'm here to do a job.
Right.
And he said, no. And then another PA ended up butting in and said, no, leave. And I was pissed. I was so fucking pissed, bro. I walked out, and I ended up blocking Taraji's entrance because she was, I forgot what the episode was, but she was decked out in like 90s hip hop fashion stuff with the baggy jeans and hat and all that. And I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, Taraji, get out my way. Get out my way. I don't care. Get out my way.
Right.
So I left, and I was so upset, bro. I emailed the head of the casting agency that hired me. I'm like, this is so unprofessional. This is the situation, and by law, I'm required that you guys are required to accommodate my emergency. And she was like, I am so sorry. I just called the head of whoever it was at the time for that episode, and they said to come back. They're going to pay you the entire day, and we apologize for the inconvenience.
Oh, it's all happened within the same day, right away, huh?
Bro, as I was emailing them, because we were on the second floor. I walked down, And Taraj, like I told Taraj to get out of my way. I didn't tell her to get out of my way. But I was so,
I can see you doing that.
I was so upset, bro. I was going through it and finding names to email, and like I sound like an older white lady trying to email corporate. But I was upset. Like, listen, guys, I was upset. One, I had to waste gas to get there. And as an extra, you only make, I think it was like, what, 97? I
think 96 for the 8, right?
96 for the 8. And, so it's not much money, but it's something that I needed at the time. So they apologized and said, go back. I said, I can't. I left already. I am not going to be able to make it back there. And I'm like, I'm never coming back again. No disrespect, no shade to any of that. But I was so upset that day. Like, as a human, just fucking take out the whole policy. Just look at the situation.
Right, look at the situation. Come on, who do you think you are? Come on, like.
And I'll never forget that guy's face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Waiting to see.
I'm not gonna hit him. No, I'll mean mug him. I'll just look at him.
So they have a policy now, and I'm pretty sure that it's because of you. But every time before they give out the phone, they let us know. They tell you if there is an emergency going on and you need to use your phone or you got special needs, come and talk to me.
Nope.
And I'm pretty sure it was.
They didn't tell me that.
No, I'm pretty sure they did that after you.
Hell yeah!
Got a hold of corporate or whoever.
Cause all privileged white lady on them. I just had
right. And now they changed their ways. Now they still take everybody's phone, but if they say and they bring up if your wife's pregnant and expecting, they bring that up now before the set on Empire, and I'm pretty sure.
I'm glad I made that echo, man.
I'm pretty sure that was you.
Good.
So, talking about freaking Ubering and all that, and man, is that not the toughest thing? Trying to act and make money,
bro. The whole term "struggling actor" is the realest thing I've ever heard, and you don't know that until you're in it. Acting, you don't get paid for it. You don't get paid for much, especially like student films and indie films. You have to donate your time for that,
right? In
exchange for video reels and material that you could use. But Uber, bro, I did not like it.
You didn't like it, huh?
No, man.
Just the job in general, or the pay? Were you not making money?
No. You know what? I still have the Chevy Traverse, and that's a gas guzzler. It's an Uber XL. And not a lot of people were asking for Uber XL, so I was getting paid standard, and standard wasn't much. So I mean, it had to be worth the trip. If I, narrowed my filter to only wanting Uber XL trips, I would only get like one a day, and they would pay. I think they were paying I got paid like $40. I picked up a group of like 5 people. And I took them to downtown. But once I got to downtown, oh man, it was mayhem.
Yeah, right.
You ever did Uber?
No, they turned me down because of my felony. I tried, man.
Really?
Yeah. So
because you have a felony?
All right. So I got caught with a gun when I was 17.
Confessions.
Then I got caught with another gun. I got caught, so it's not like I'm hiding it from anybody.
Yeah.
So I got caught with a second gun a few months later, right when I turned 18 and all. So I ended up getting locked up, whatever. But that's 2 felonies for a gun, unlawful use of a weapon, 2. And then a few years ago, which now it's about 7 or 8 years ago, I got caught with a Vicodin that wasn't in the proper bottle.
Where was it?
It was in a safe in my drawer because I was staying at a buddy's house and I just put all my stuff.
You had one
Vicodin in a bottle still, but it had no label on the bottle.
Yeah.
And what happened was I broke my arm and they gave me Vicodin, and I kept that thing. You know what I'm saying? I kept them, and I ended up breaking the bottle, so I just threw them in another bottle,
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get confused, so I mean, I just took, the label off, or it was old bottle that the label was falling off or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I get into a fight with a crazy lady, and she tells the cops that I have guns and stuff in my house. So I'm like, well, come search.
Yeah.
They search, and they find that pill, and they're like, what's this? And I'm like, it's Vicodin. 3 months later, they come knocking at my door talking about they got a warrant for my arrest for controlled substance. Well, they found some paraphernalia in my apartment while coming in with the warrant.
You're just one unlucky bastard,
bro. I'm talking about unlucky because I went to court and I went to CVS, got my prescription all printed out. It say use as needed. I didn't need it anymore. It didn't say throw it out when you done though. So I cut that pill. And man, crooked ass. You know how the law works. They said, okay, well. you know, we're gonna hit you with like $1,000 in fines and charge you with like 2 different accounts of paraphernalia, because like they got me with like what to smoke it out of, and apparently they scraped some weed out of it or whatever, and they're gonna charge me with that too or something, you know. Or I can cop out to the Vicodin, which is a felony, and it would only be like a $250 fine. I'm like, what? I'm like, so am I going to jail? They're like, no. And I'm like, well, then whatever. I already got 2 felonies. You can shove it up your ass. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. What are you going to... I'm not going to jail. I don't care then. Well, I go and I fucking apply for Uber, and they deny me because of that Vicodin felony. They don't mention nothing about my guns, the gun charges. They mentioned this Vicodin, this painkiller that a doctor gave me because I broke my arm, and it was in my house. Like,
they can't have pill poppers behind the wheel.
I guess not, man.
Gunslingers, yeah.
Yeah, no problem with gun shit. They customers is protected then, you know. I mean, you in good hands. This dude got a gun in the car. You probably good.
There was this time where I did Uber downtown. I did Uber probably for 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks tops, and I couldn't deal with the fuckery that the people brought. Somebody ordered an Uber. I went, and this chick was passed out on the light pole. And the bouncer was holding her up. Are you an Uber? Nope. Go.
Is that how it works? You could just cancel that shit?
I canceled it because I know Uber pays up to a certain amount if they vomit in your car. But I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with having to drag a limp body out my car.
Right, to get her to finally go in her house.
And I get the whole thing behind that. And I'm glad that she decided to grab an Uber rather than driving her own car. But not yours. They picked the wrong Uber today. Redo it. Find somebody else.
Yeah, man, it's got to be a lot of drunk people, man. It's crazy though. I see people just like, I work outside. You know, I do tree business. You know, so we cut down and trim trees. Yeah, a lot of times in the village, people's front yard, whatever. I travel a lot of places, and I just be randomly seeing people standing outside on the sidewalk, and I be thinking like, what the hell are they doing? Like, why are they just, what's wrong with these people? And then a car will just pull up, you know? They'll just jump in and bam, on their way. It's crazy.
I don't mind Uber Eats. I could do that. I did that a few times.
Okay.
It's like,
it seems a little, it's
better. You don't have to deal. You don't have to deal with people. You don't have to deal with making up conversations like, oh.
Even when you delivered, like, they don't even need to pay you, right? Like,
no, everything is all set.
It's like, here's your food and gone.
It's like DoorDash. What you call it? I hate when people come in the car and then the first question out their mouth, how long you been doing Uber? God, every single customer.
I've never even taken an Uber ride, bro.
I took it a few times, and I mean, not to make small talk with my Uber driver, because I'm pretty sure they always deal with that shit. I just shut the fuck up. Like, I'm not gonna make up a conversation. If you want to spark one up, great. But you're doing your thing, I'm gonna do mine. I don't
even want to put myself in that situation. Like,
awkward.
Do they want to talk? Awkward. Do they not? Should I? Oh man, put the radio on.
It's like a first date every single time.
Yeah, now Uber Eats sounds like more of my
Uber
deal.
Eats is good, but you're always gonna be hungry because somebody's gonna always order some flame ass food.
People are lazy too, because I be Uber eating and shit. Yeah, I don't take Uber, but anything that delivers food, bro.
I look at my wife. I'm like, you want Buffalo Wild Wings tonight? Sure. I'm not gonna try.
It's crazy. Anything you can order anything nowadays, bro.
The whole concept of like the society now is just the now. Like, you want it now. Your news, you want it now. Your games, you want it now.
I order shit off Amazon and get it today. It's the same day.
I don't understand how that works.
I don't either. Like, how do they do this?
So you took your wife to shoot to the shooting range?
Yes.
How did that go?
Not bad. So, being a felon, I can't get my Floyd license, and my wife was pretty against guns for a while. Well, she had a bad nightmare, a dream, and I think it had something to do with me not being around and somebody breaking into the house. And now that I got the kid, you know, we got the baby, it changed things. So she woke up and she was like, I need to get a gun.
She woke up in the middle of the night?
Nah, but the next day, she's like, I need to get a gun. But I would have been freaked out.
You went back to sleep. You just said some revolutionary shit. We're going to talk about this.
Especially, I already told you she don't like my acting. So I'm like, what do you need a gun for? Nah, but she just said she had a bad nightmare and she took that shit to heart. And she was like, I need to get a gun.
Sorry, I missed that.
And so she said, "Oh, I need a gun or whatever." I'm like, "Let's do this," because I can't have one. I've been trying to get her to get one.
So how'd you shoot?
You don't know what these people. So she got a FOID license.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she filled out the paperwork, and they were quick to give her a FOID license and stuff. You know, they didn't ask anything about, you know, a felon living around and all that. So we haven't bought a gun yet.
Okay.
I mean, we got a whole bunch of guns. Whoever's listening, we got grenade launchers and all types of shit. Don't even try it.
Gat guns sell those, man.
What happened?
Gat guns, they sell those.
Grenade launchers?
They're not okay. So they're not sold and referenced as grenade launcher. They're, what are they called? Flare something, but they're huge. The barrels are huge, and in the description it says, "Not a grenade launcher. Do not use it as a grenade launcher. It is unlawful, or it's illegal, or whatever." But yeah, gat guns have crazy. Their categories are just ridiculous. But go ahead.
Big shout out to gat guns.
Gat guns.
Okay. So so finally for her birthday, and I was like, you know, let's go to the gun range. So again, she got a FOID license. I don't. I'm a felon, so I don't know what the rules are. I've gone shooting a lot. As long as I'm with somebody that has a FOID.
As long as you're with somebody that has a license.
Somebody told me that if they found out I was a felon, that legally I can't shoot there. But they don't ask if I'm a felon. So I don't understand that.
I don't think that's true.
So we go over there. I walk up now, and I'm like, "Oh, you know, we want to rent a lane. We want to do some shooting." And so he's like, "Okay." I'm like, "She's a first-time shooter." My dumb ass said, "So we need to get a small gun." I didn't mean small. I meant just not a powerful gun. But right away, dude's like, dude doesn't know what he's talking about. He don't know guns. Like, small guns are like very powerful. You know, like they got more kick. I was like, man. So he looks at her. He's like, "Have you shot before?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "Have you held a gun before?" And she's like, "No." And then he looks at me and he's like, "Have you shot before?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know how to shoot now." And he's like, "But you got a FOID?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, dude, I got treated like a little ass kid, man. Really? I couldn't hold the gun. She had to walk it everywhere. She couldn't leave it out of her sight. Couldn't leave it by me. I wasn't technically allowed to load it or anything. It was ridiculous, you know. Really? I know what they doing.
Which one did you go to? Article 2.
Yeah, Article 2 right here in Lombard and shit, real close to the shop. Nice spot. It was cool. I mean, it's just.
Is the range master still there? The older white guy. He just has an attitude.
That's probably the one I dealt with.
The range master, like when you go check in for a lane. Is that who'd you check in with?
Yeah, some guy. I don't know his name, and he right away he was like, bro, he didn't. I don't know. He was like, he didn't want us to go shooting and all. He's like, well, would you be able to pass the test? And I told my wife prior, I showed her with a BB gun before,
how did you
basic.
You showed your wife how to shoot a gun by using a BB gun?
So no, I just showed her how the safety, and then how cocking back, would load it, and then you have a bullet there, then you don't have to. I'm trying to give her the basic, and then don't keep your finger here, always hold it here. Don't have your finger on the trigger. But it's way different with a BB gun than a real gun, man. So finally, after all this bullshit, it just him kind of putting me down, he can't be left with the gun and we finally get into the gun range though, and man, we got this 9mm. It's like it's a small 9mm, good for concealed carry. I forgot what they said it was called. That shit had a lot of kick, bro. Yeah. I don't shoot guns very often. I've shot a lot, but I got caught.
What's the highest caliber you shot? Like a 9?
Me in general?
Yeah.
Oh no, bro. I've shot 357s. I used to have a 38 special. It had a nice kick on it and shit. My dad's got 40s and 45s. And I shoot his gun. We got a gun trap, a bullet trap at the shop at work and all. So we shoot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I used to shoot rifles and stuff. Easy to shoot shit. But gangbanging wise, I used to get a lot of guns, and we go into cornfields or a little open area and just let loose with it. I thought I was so good too, man. Then I went to the gun range for the first time.
Same shit with MMA. You thought you were a good fighter.
I let a whole clip go, and I didn't hit the target at all, bro. I think one in the balls, and I was aiming for the head. It came in, and my guy looked at me and was like, "Bro," I'm like, "Listen, I don't know, bro. I don't know what to tell you."
You shot the balls?
And I was going for the head, and I shot all the way down in the balls. So I mean, man. But I learned that I was pulling the trigger instead of squeezing the trigger. I was anticipating on it kicking.
Got it. So
and
you were
aiming, bro. It was.
Yeah.
So they gave me a revolver one day. My dad gave me a revolver, and he only put 3 bullets in it. He's like, "Oh, shoot this one," and I'm like, boom, boom. And then nothing. You know, it was empty, but the gun moved.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, you're pulling the trigger. Like,
Yeah.
that's the problem. You're anticipating on it kicking. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really good now. So I had to teach, my wife that and all, but she goes and I don't shoot that often. So I take it and I'm like, let me go first. I shot that first one. That shit kicked back hard, and I was like, "Oh,
with a knife,
man, with a knife."
Yeah,
it's a little knife, and I was like, not like where it scared me, but I mean, it was enough that I was like, "Man, that was a good kick." And then I looked at my wife, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, is she gonna be ready for this? You know, hey, she wasn't.
You were the first one to shoot?
Yeah, I shot it first. And once you get in the lane, it's whatever. Nobody's watching you or anything, you know what I'm saying? So I shot first. But I was like, man, in the back of my head, I was like, this thing got a bit of kick. Man, my wife grabbed it. First shot, bro, and she turned around and she looked at me and this look in her eyes, bro. She was scared shitless, dog. Really? She started crying.
Oh, man.
And she was still shooting it, dog. She was crying. She was bam. I'm like, oh, calm down. I'm like, it's all right. Take a deep breath. You don't gotta shoot it. There's no time limit. It's cool. And then she got a little hang of it, and then we got a bigger 9, one with less kick and shit. And she loved it then, and then it was like,
you know what, we should
it was fun.
You should go on a double date, man, because my wife likes shooting too.
I'm down because she likes it now. I mean,
I'll bring my toys. I mean, but I have 9s. I have a 9. I think my wife has a 357. Is it? 357? Hold on. I think it's a 357. Yeah, I got a 38 special. We got a 12 gauge. We can shoot a shotgun.
I've shot some shotguns and rifles and stuff. I used to do little hunting and fishing things, with my dad. I was in Boy Scout. No, hell no. I can't shoot an animal, bro. I could beat up a guy or whatever. I don't care, but I can't shoot an animal. I'm sorry.
I feel bad, bro. Like, I always hear people like, oh, we hunt and we eat what we hunt. Like, I can't. If I can see the face, I ain't eating that.
No, I'll go buy some chicken from the store, no problem though. But I'm just
you can't kill the chicken
and steak and all, but I can't kill the animals. No, I couldn't do it. I'm sorry, it's just not in me, bro. Like, I just can't. I'm working trees. You should see me. I take nets out of trees that I'm cutting down, and I'll go out of my way, climb another tree, and put it up there and just pray that mama finds them. You know what I'm saying?
You pray over the nest?
Bro, to different trees. Like, it's insane, dude. I got videos all over Facebook, Instagram. I find raccoons. I find baby squirrels. I find baby eggs. Bro, one time, I seen this nest, and the mama, the bird was not leaving. It was staying there, and I'm like, man, she got to have some eggs there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Finally, I got too close, and she finally left, and I reached over to look, and there was 2 eggs in there, and I'm like, cool, I'm not going to mess with this branch. Well, I cut another branch that hit that branch, and it knocked one of the fucking eggs off.
Oh, you killed it?
And it broke, and I was down the whole day. The whole day, I didn't want nobody talking to me, because there was nobody to be mad at but myself. I could have been more careful. I could have moved the nest. I could have done anything. I killed that baby before he had a chance to be born. And the mama bird was up on the roof watching me do it. Like, oh, bro, I was like, I'll quit this job right now. I can't do this kind of shit. I need a different job, man.
Headliner, Bad Boy Chris is a softy at heart.
Man, I'm telling you, I really am. It's when it comes to animals, man, I just... Bro, I don't know.
But you still eat that burger, though.
But I'll eat that burger. I don't know. I can't explain that to you. I'm sorry. Like, I just...
Would you eat a burger in front of a cow?
Hell yeah.
I ended up buying chickens for my daughter, I think like 2 years ago. I was eating chicken strips right in front of that chicken. Animal cruelty. Hey, I'm sorry, but hey, I was hungry. There was chicken strips.
It is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, I couldn't hunt. My family hunts though. I got uncles and cousins. Not my dad, but his side of the family.
I wouldn't mind. All right. I'd probably shoot an animal from afar, but I wouldn't go check it. Like, I don't know. I would like to shoot at it, but I'm not going to check if it's dead, because if it's dead, I'm just going to, like, feel bad. Then I wouldn't be able to do anything.
They're over here tracking blood and shit. They'll go find that thing, like, half dead on the ground.
My wife, she got me a Gerson. I think I'm pronouncing that name right. It's a big, giant hunting rifle. Huge. Taller than me, bro. I'm 5'9". When I assemble that, I have to assemble that gun every time I use it.
Sound like the redcoats are coming. Bro, the redcoats are coming.
It is huge. So once I assemble that mammoth of a gun, That's the reason she got it for me, to hunt. I'm not a hunter. If we were back in the Stone Ages, I'd fucking die of hunger because I wouldn't eat.
Fuck. I don't even want to think about it, man. Damn it. I'd be a vegetarian.
I'd be the first vegetarian ever. But she bought it for that reason. And I don't think I would ever go. But now my wife's cousin's husband, he'll gut anything. He's like a man's man, like
man's man.
like
Yeah,
if there was a man Bible, he'd have a verse in there. But yeah, he would skin anything, eat anything. I don't know what's up with that guy. He's fucking.
I know my cousins bring heads to the shop and shit, or
heads?
yeah, like that deer heads and stuff, and then skinned bodies. Just just be sitting in their pickup truck when they pull up. And I'm like, fuck. But where do you draw the line? Because man, I'll slap the shit out of a mosquito or a bee. Fuck those guys, right? I mean, I don't care about them. I'll be stepping on ants and shit. Like, where do you draw the line?
I love stepping on anthills? When all those motherfuckers, you motherfuckers about to die.
Fuck yes. Woo. I'm allergic to wasps and bees, bro. I spray the shit out them. I don't care at all. That thing's there dying, rolling. I'm spraying it still more. I don't care. Like, so where do you draw the line? I don't know.
Bro, I remember one day I got bit by mosquitoes. I was so fucking upset. I got bit like 5 times. And I'm bald, so like if I get bit on my head, it hurts. I got bit 5 times. I was so fucking upset. I Googled, what are the purpose of mosquitoes? Couldn't find anything.
There's no reason.
None. If anybody out there in the podcast world can find me a reason why I should let a mosquito live, let me know.
Right.
We were talking about off air. We were talking about our wives and how having them support us means so much more. So I went to go do my first episode with Mike the Realtor, and I was at home editing it. Now I mic'd them up and I was recording. We're BSing, talking, and a little part of that he was talking about his furniture in his patio, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you went with me to go get it. Remember at Walmart?" And my wife, I was showering my daughter, and then I hear from my wife from the other room, "When the fuck did you go to Walmart?"
Shit. Oh, women, bro. She wouldn't miss that either, man.
I was like, "You've been hearing this podcast for the past half hour. The only thing you got out of that was when the fuck did I go to Walmart?" And I was like, it was like a few days before we went to Pennsylvania. I ended up buying her a movie, and she knew I went to Walmart.
Oh.
And it's so minuscule of a thing for me to do. It's like I don't know when I went to Walmart. Walmart is Walmart. You go to Walmart every fucking day. But I found that shit funny that they were talking about having supportive wives. But then like my wife is so supportive. She's listening to this. She'll be listening to this once it airs, and. But
my wife will too, just to make sure we weren't talking about her.
Well, which we are, but it's nothing negative. How's it going, guys? But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. What was the best advice given to you in acting school? I know we veered way off track.
Yeah, man, I don't even know about best advice.
What was the best technique that you learned going in there? Because I've learned a lot through John Ross. John Ross was one of the instructors at JC, and but every time he came, I had to sit down and write notes. But is there something that pops off your mind, like when he did a monologue or anything that he said?
I don't know. Nothing's really coming to mind that like really. Shit, everything he said stood out. I mean, everything I learned was pretty much through him because he was the only one that was really an acting coach at our school. Like, I mean, nobody else really. So I mean, like, I took everything down that he said, but
you kind of applied it and kind of like forgot about it.
Yeah. Like I can't even really point out what.
I can't tell you a lecture that he did either. But
yeah,
there was one thing that he did when he did when there was a graduate that went into class and she did her monologue, and it wasn't a monologue, it was a dialogue, so it needed somebody there.
Okay, right.
So he ended up being there, and then he ended up crying on cue.
No shit.
In front of the entire class, and the whole monologue was like she was saying how much she needs him in his life and how much they're gonna do better or how better they're gonna be, and he started crying on cue, like both eyes, real tears coming down his fucking face. And I'm looking at him like, why are you crying? This is fake right now. Like,
Right.
where is that coming from? I found that to be so fucking cool.
Did he give you any tips on how he?
I didn't ask him. I didn't. Hey, why are you
Man.
crying? What are you thinking of? But I learned through when I did Silence, my short film that I wrote. There was a scene that I needed to cry, and it was at a pivotal point of the film, and I really had to put myself in a dark place. Like, you ever hear that where actors?
Yeah.
Like, I had to go up to a dark. I really went to a dark place, bro. That like, now I understand how he made himself cry, but he wasn't in that. Like, what made me cry is thinking about my kids being hurt. Like,
Exactly.
because Silence is about child sexual abuse. So I thought if that was my kid, but I don't know how to apply that to a dialogue about a relationship.
Right.
But so, like, that's my dark place. My kids, like, the safety of my children is my dark place. But I understand, but I don't know how to apply that to anywhere else. But, like, there's sometimes where I'm like, in the process of making the film, I had to choose music and listen to stuff. So I was trying to find background music for one of the scenes, and I'm cleaning dishes, right? I'm in my kitchen cleaning dishes, and I'm crying because I'm listening to just instruments. Like, that's all I'm doing. My wife comes in and I'm fucking crying listening
while
to
I'm doing
instruments.
dishes,
but
bro.
The background music that I wanted was to a scene to where I confronted the abuser. So it was emotional.
Right.
But I was listening to that song and it moved me because it mended well with, that scene. So I started crying. She's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, you won't understand. You won't understand.
So I got a few thoughts.
Yeah,
and
how
it's
did
family.
you do that? Because you got...
It's family and son and all that can, that really gets me there. And, thinking about me doing something that caused my family harm, being my fault, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or something happening and me not being there to help. Like, it's family being harmed and all. It gets me in that place. Now, a monologue is one thing because you're ready for it. You kind of know, you're getting yourself there. But like in acting, man, to do it while trying to remember your lines, like, so you're trying to remember your lines for this scenario, which this scenario doesn't really touch you like that because it's not real.
But you have
and
to
I don't have the time to be thinking about somebody harming my son and all that while trying to remember my lines. So, like, I sit down watching a movie and I say, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that. Look at, like, even in the movie you feel it. Okay, let me see, the last Avengers, the Endgame.
Yeah.
When Tony Stark dies.
Spoiler, come on, really?
Wait, if you ain't seen that movie by now, man, I'm sorry for you. Okay, rewind. So there's a movie, and they had that little funeral scene at the end or whatever, just with them talking and like, bro, I felt it. You know what I'm saying? I could easily make myself cry in that mood.
Yeah.
But think about the acting for real. They didn't have all that leading up to that in the day. They just are like, hey, come here at 10 o'clock. And this scene is, okay, this guy already died and you guys are mourning. And it's like.
And not only that, but you got to do it back to back. Because it's not only one take, bro.
Right.
It's like 8 takes.
Cry, wipe your eyes and all, and get ready to do it again. I don't even know how.
With movie magic, they could just fucking squirt shit.
They could, right.
And what helped me through my scene, because I needed a push, like, to make me cry, I cut onions and I rubbed it in my eye.
No shit.
Bro.
I could see you put it in your fingers and then just kind of wipe your eyes if you really needed to.
Like when before they yell action, like, I kind of rub my, the little corner of my eye. And I don't cry yet, but it's a little push. So when I have to, the floodgates are open, I fucking bawl like a little
nice.
But yeah, that helped me. But I always found that fascinating where people could, like, flip on the dime and cry out, or get upset or get like Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard, he actually prepped for one of his scenes out in his trailer, screaming. Have you ever seen Terrence Howard prep for a dramatic scene?
No.
Bro, it was like a psycho. It was a psychopath.
And he's over on his own, just kind of like himself doing this shit.
So when you go into CineSpace and you go into one of their buildings, it's like a giant, like a hangar where you could put an airplane, but there's a bunch of different sets and rooms.
Right.
left and right. So he has a trailer in the middle of the hallway hangar or whatever you want to call it. And we are, I forgot what we're doing. I think we're doing fitting. I was doing the fitting for that episode with Jesse or Juicy Smollett.
Juicy Smollett.
Juicy Smollett. So I was doing a fitting for Juicy Smollett, and all you hear is a guy going, like just screaming. I'm sorry, I just blew out my fucking speakers. But no, he's screaming, jumping, like he is like saliva everywhere, just like going crazy. But I guess the scene required him to be like pissy, mad, and just like, like airy kind of, like you just ran a marathon. But that's the way that he strained his voice, and that's the way he got it to be like, to see the techniques that people do is like, really? You do that?
Hey, whatever works for some people, I mean, oh man, I don't know.
How would you psych yourself up for a scene that you would have to like go from 0 to 100 real quick? Like you have to be cool and then break.
To be honest, I don't know, because I ain't never really had to do it, like, man, I don't know. I mean, that's a tough part about acting, is really like changing the moods or switching it on, I mean, that's why they tell you, like good advice is, you got to put yourself in their shoes. Think before and after. Like you have to not just this moment. You got to like feel what made you get here and stuff like that.
You have to be that character.
Yeah, be that character.
And that's
easier
crazy.
said than done.
And that's crazy when you're like, method acting. Like when people actually live that life, like people do that.
Fuck, Heath Ledger for the Joker, how he
locked himself up
for a while, and then the whatever movie afterwards he was doing, he was like, hanging with people that like, I don't know, the weird people, like I don't know, like I couldn't. Oh man,
you could like just dive completely into a character. That is scary. Bro.
Number one that can do that. Like what's that guy's name from Split? You seen the movie Split?
James McAvoy.
Dude, how?
He's a beast.
How?
Have you seen the newest one that came out? Glass?
Oh, heck yeah, because I loved Unbreakable.
James McAvoy.
Bro, how does he do it? Honestly, that is like the greatest.
God, those scenes where in Glass, he's in the room and then he switches from personality to personality. And then he does a Spanish one. Then he flips it over. Like, how?
And the thing too, he's got a natural accent because he's from wherever.
He's from, is he Scottish? Scotland?
Maybe. Definitely not, but he speaks better English than me. Like, it's insane. Like, I just don't understand how he like sounds so like us, like American, and then he could be like 10 different Americans. It's
whose accent is pretty good? Albus.
Oh, yeah.
Idris?
I don't know, but dude from like the new Fast and Furious movie, right?
Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw. I like him a lot too. I like that guy a lot.
He for a few years. So this is the thing, when he did, I forgot what show. It was based in Boston. Boston accents are really hard to do. So he went for the audition with the accent, and he felt that if he like took that accent out and talked in his real voice, that they wouldn't hire him. So he trained himself to talk like that. So throughout the entire process, he did the audition. Even after the audition, he would talk like a Bostonian. So I think the last callback, they asked him, "Oh, where are you from?" Because they wanted to know if he was from Boston or not, because he was so convincing.
No shit.
Like, yeah, I'm from UK. I'm from UK. His accent is like, and it's not only him. There's a bunch of actors with great
tons
accents.
tons of them. Yeah.
I dive into the YouTube rabbit hole of accent. You ever do that? You ever like? I don't know. I would like to know as much as possible
I had a audition to be Shane on New Ties, which is the Irish mobster boss.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Shout
Irish.
out to,
Dorian Johnson,
yeah,
yes, New Ties, killing it. And I wanted the audition, and I'm like, man, but I so I'm mixed. I'm Caucasian and Puerto Rican. Like, so I don't know where I fit in, but most people think I look Hispanic. So I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm feeling it. I'm like, man, I would love to do this, but I just don't think anybody's gonna believe me. So I'm like, all right. He says you don't need an accent because this is Chicago. You know, I was born and raised in Chicago still.
Yeah.
I'm just Irish. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, but if I could add a little accent to it, maybe it'll be more believable. Man,
you didn't do it, did you?
I tried.
You did?
No. I jumped onto YouTube and all this, looking at like how do you learn these accents and stuff, bro. I'm no good at it. It started off Irish, it turned Chinese into a little Hispanic, bro. I'm no good at this. I can't. I was like, man, how do people do it? Some of them do it so damn well,
and they can improvise off script with the accent.
Bro, try to listen. They'll be like, okay, they'll be like, oh, Americans say pear, but Hispanics say pear. I'm like,
what's the difference?
She's saying the same thing. I don't get what she's doing. Explain to me what I gotta do. It's like
So on the ride back from PA to Chicago was like 13 hours, and I was so fascinated by Boston. I told my wife when we go back to vacation, I want to go back to Boston. I want to go to Boston to stay there for 2 weeks, just so I could just fucking sit at the front porch and listen to people talk. I just think their accent is like the best. It's funny. I don't know. It's funny. Have you?
I've never been to Boston, bro.
Me neither, bro. I mean.
So I know some Boston, and I'm like, I like this guy's accent. Like, I like when this guy talks. Like, it's crazy. I just like when this guy talks. That'd be the best way to learn, though. Honestly, I think it's just go. Like when I started, hanging around with the gangsters and all that. That man, my slang. Like that, you hung around with them so long, you started to talk like them. I learned that with my buddy. I learned that with my wife and the people she works with at work. You'll never know who answers the phone because they all start to sound the same. So I would figure, hey, you go live out somewhere 6 months to a year. I'm sure you'll pick up an accent. But who got money for that?
That's how Madonna learned how to speak like in an English accent.
Is that right?
Yeah, she has like a little accent to her now, right? Because she lives in England.
No, I didn't, but she does now, huh? She got it kind of just happens. My mom sounds like she's from Florida, and it's just got a little
Florida
different.
Has an accent?
Yeah, they got like this little, I don't know, hillbilly-ish accent.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, and it's because her husband, he's from the South. He's straight up South. So she sounds a lot like him now. People are like, oh, you're from Chicago. And I'll be like, how do you know? They're like, oh, with your accent, like you just sound like you're from Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that mean? Do I talk about guns a lot or gangs or drugs? Or like what part of what I said sounded like Chicago? Like, I don't know.
You know what? Same thing I think, like, how do I have an accent? When I went over to PA, where you from? Chicago? Oh, I could tell. How?
Right.
How?
What did I say?
I think the way we say Chicago.
Like, the way we say Chicago?
Because I even searched it. I'm like, how do Chicago's have
like, we say pop, they say soda, but it's oh, well, I didn't even say pop. So that's not how they know. Like, I didn't say pop.
If you were to have any accent in the world, which one would it be?
Man, I don't know. I really don't know. I like the UK accent.
I think that's pretty dope. I get lost in that accent. I love it. I had a customer come up to me one day looking for mops, and she had an English accent. She was an Indian woman, but with an accent from UK, and she was talking, and I just fell in love.
Yeah,
I just fell in love with the accent.
No, I hear you.
Oh, what are you gonna do with the mop? And I just wanted to asking her questions just to hear her talk.
No, with us both being Hispanic. Hispanic accent is not the one, right? No, it's not the one. It's like nobody picks that
if
one.
Accents were a club, Hispanic accents wouldn't be the club to go to.
No.
You'd be bad at interviews. You would never get a job.
Australians.
Australians, yeah.
The Aussies or whatever. Like I like listening to them talk too. Sometimes they just be so like polite with it too. I
like Irish because Conor McGregor sounds like a badass.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. It's like, how come the way he says things, it just sounds better?
Yeah.
All these fuckers. Like if I say fuckers, it's just everybody's gonna be like, okay, whatever. But because he said fuckers, it's like everybody's like, this guy. It's like, fuck, like why? It just sounds better when you say it.
Yeah, cocksucker.
And it's like, yeah, but when I say it, you guys don't laugh. Yeah, that's one thing, man. People got voices in this acting thing and can change their voices for shit like that. I'm like, man, it was not one of the skills that was given.
But it's a skill you could be taught.
Think so, huh?
I think with enough practice, you could be good at anything.
Because I got a buddy, and if you talk to him in the accent, you say like 4 or 5 lines, he'll be able to repeat something with that accent, like no problem. Yeah. Xbox Live playing Call of Duty. Oh, you get somebody from Australia or whatever, and they'd be like, yeah, mate. Like he'll be on it, bro. It sound like the crocodile hunter and shit. And I'm like, bro, like what?
My sister does a good accent, but I think it's because of Harry Potter. She says like just Harry Potter lines. I'm like, oh shit, you're good at that. She just like repeats Harry Potter fucking phrases and shit. But I on the way back from PA, I started trying to repeat fucking Boston accents. All I got was it from like Packy, fucking, what is it called? Donies? The Donies? Doies? I don't fucking know. But I don't know. But I told my wife, yeah, we're going back.
See, I think words have a lot to do with it too. Like being in Jamaica, I didn't sound Jamaican, but when you start saying "yeah man," and "Irie man," and stuff like that, when you start throwing it into the sentence, right? It's like, oh, now you kind of do sound like
everything. Yeah,
you sound a little Jamaican, I mean, so a lot of it's probably got to do with trying to learn their words and all that,
But for that, you would have to actually be in the community for a while.
Yeah.
I think like if I were ever to get a gig, let's say if I do this, acting thing full time, podcasting full time, whatever, if I have to get a role in New York, then I would have to stay in New York for a few months. Look how they react, because people live differently from different worlds. Like people from Chicago don't live the same way as people from New York. They don't act different. You ever seen New York people get mad? That shit is real. The shit you see on World Star is fucking real. I took my daughter to a fucking park, and this lady, she went on New York on a motherfucker. I just stood there looking at her. Like, she just went off. She was yelling and swearing. And I was like, oh shit. And she was wearing Tim's too. I'm like, oh shit, she's from New York. But yeah, no, I think New York is pretty fascinating, but I didn't go there, man. I wanted to.
Yeah, I've never been to New York.
Where have you been?
Man, just traveling and enjoying places and stuff, man. I mean, like I said, I just went to Jamaica, which was the first time out of the country. Then we did a lot of Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, like any of the places on the way to Florida, we would stop and hang out. We have family around there. And then me and my wife just took a trip to California, which was cool. I really wanted to go to Hollywood, with the acting and all. Yeah. Was not impressed.
You weren't impressed?
No, I was expecting something else, bro.
Were you glamour, or what were you expecting?
Hollywood I don't know, man. There was just so many bums right there. It looked like crap. It's like they didn't take care of the place. I was expecting something different. I don't know. I was expecting to see famous people all over the place. I don't even know. Like,
what's the Rodeo Drive, where all like Rodeo Drive.
So we took some kind of bus and all that took us through the
You took TMZ?
No. Oh, well, TMZ one, no, but we ran across TMZ because Tiger, rapper, named Tiger, whatever, he pulled up in a Lamborghini, and bro, because we was just,
you saw him?
Yeah, we were just, we were all in the buses, and they're like, oh, Will Ferrell lives here, and this guy's, and I'm just looking at the house, just like, man,
just pop out.
What do I got to do though? What do I got to do to get one of these? I mean, come on, he's probably not here because he only comes here during a few months of the year, and it's like, bro, come on, man, like that's a whole town. That house is huge. So we're going, and we just see two people just running down the street, bro, with cameras in their hands, and the dude knew right away, whoever our tour guy was, he's all like, follow anybody with cameras or that looks like they're in a rush. So as they're running, some lady yelled, what's going on? And the paparazzi was all like, Tiger's over there, bro. He got a blue freaking Lamborghini and all. Picked up some like cake or something from like a store. Couldn't even just pick up cake, you know what I'm saying, bro? It had him surrounded with paparazzi and all. But I was like, I was kind of happy, like, oh, we just see Tiger. But that was it.
With my luck, I'd follow somebody that's in a rush, and I just follow them to the bathroom.
Right.
So on the way from California here a few years back,
If you enjoyed this week's episode, please make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay centered on all Indie Center podcast episodes. If you are an independent creator and have a story to share and want to have a sit down, please email me at indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. That's indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. If you have sponsorship inquiries, I'd love to help local businesses. Please email me at indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. Until next Monday, guys. Peace.